All right, welcome back, world, to another episode of the Hollywood Kippax podcast. I'm your co-host with the co-host Alex Miller. Joining me, as always, is Will Lopez. Will, how's it going?
Pretty good. Another fucking beautiful dub. I can't wait to talk about this one, brother.
So we finally made connection with Hollywood MCFC, or at least I did. Yeah, we were trying to all get out there, but unfortunately, Will's in post-op right now, and he was put in the jail by
Guilted.
guilted. But it was a good time. You know what I mean? I've known Bernadette, the OSC chair, for like the longest time.
Beautiful.
And you know, I was a former member of Orange County Blues for the longest time, and I always wanted to get out to a Hollywood MCFC match at the Fox and Hounds in Studio City, but I just distance and energy and whatnot. But when you mentioned it at the beginning of the week, Will, that like we need to go to Hollywood MCFC,
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, we'll go. But then like I was the one that went, but I went as an emissary on our behalf, and the people were vibing. You know what I mean? So it was funny because I walked into the Fox and Hounds, and one guy noticed me immediately. Was like, "You're the guy from Instagram," and I was like, I kind of laughed because I was like, "Oh damn, am I becoming Instagram famous?"
Oh shit!
You know
There
what I
we
mean?
go.
And but like everyone, there's some people who knew about it and they liked it, and then I distributed stickers to them and stuff, and but it was a good day, good dub.
Shit.
But helping us react to the Fulham match and preview the Tottenham match, we have our good friends from the East Coast. They are a U.S.-based Manchester City podcast from Virginia, from the D.C. area. We've collaborated with them throughout the season. We've been on their podcast once, and they're finally here. It's almost the end of the season, but we finally got them on. Welcoming to our podcast, the Snobby Boys Podcast, Colby and Joe.
Guys,
shit.
What up, boys?
Yes, sir.
So, guys, getting your initial thoughts. What was your reaction to the Fulham match today?
Bro, can we talk about Gavardiol the whole time?
Sheesh.
I mean, there's some other good points in there.
There was, but bless it.
There's some supporting roles in that we can talk about. But yes, I think a lot of this will be focusing on how fucking good Gavardiol is. But guys, how's it been? How's the season so far? How's the season wrapping up for you guys?
I mean, Joe, go ahead, bro.
Hey man, we're on a roll city wise. The podcast is going great. We're getting some good engagement. Have been a lot of fun throwing things back and forth with you guys too, and just enjoying the ride that City's on right now with the undefeated run through this whole year. So we're excited. Doing good, man. How you guys doing? I haven't got a chance to talk to you guys in person in a bit. How y'all doing?
Oh man, we've had quite the week. You know, we interviewed Big Steve at the beginning of the week, and from what people have been saying, that it was a great episode, and appreciate the content that was from that. You know what I mean? Big Steve, him being a legacy Man City fan, he had lots of good stories to tell, and that are both funny and very sentimental. It's very touching to hear his story. And we're actually going to be going on his podcast, the Big Steve Show, which is hosted on City Extra the day before the West Ham match. So nothing's going to be confirmed yet, but it's going to be big. And I just appreciate him being very gracious and helping us build our following, because we've gotten a lot of new followers from just engaging with him. So shout out Big Steve. Yeah. So, just this season, we've grown so much from where it was the first season, you know what I mean? And we've made a lot of good connections with yourselves, Shades of Blue, bit of banter. Unfortunately, they're their last season. Shout out. And we also got George Aldapa in the chat. So he's saying,
yes, we do.
What's to you guys?
Up, George?
So
what up, G?
Yeah. So George Aldapa is one of our day ones, and we appreciate him, but we're gonna miss a bit of banter, but you always have a spot on our show. So we got a stacked episode for you guys. We're gonna be reacting to the Fulham match. We're gonna be talking about the Premier League race, talk about some City news, and talk about City Tottenham preview. Wait, hold on, guys. Sorry. What the hell's going on? No.
Oh,
no.
Hello, boys.
Yeah, brother.
Oh,
shit.
All
What,
right,
dude?
here
What the
we
hell,
go.
Cameron?
So Alex and Will can't take the heat, so they got to bring in reinforcements now. So I get it. Like,
No.
Wow.
geez,
Are you
heavy
like-
artillery.
Are you like Seth Green from like a '90s film? Like, are you hacking on mainframe right now to get in before to get your thoughts in on the
Yeah.
Tottenham match?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm a Trojan horse. It's
Uh, This is are you LimeWire? Are you trying? Am I trying to illegally download
I mean, I think I'd be like a 2006 banger with like the radio DJ line over it. Be like, this next track's gonna be it's gonna be lit, and then like ruined the whole intro's ruined, right?
But all right. Well, Cam, you hacked us, so you get your thoughts on this. So I guess we'll start with your thoughts about this City Tottenham match really quick. So as a Tottenham fan, speak on behalf of your fan base. What is a Tottenham fan going into this Tuesday?
I mean, I think every Tottenham fan wants to see Arsenal lose, and not get the title. So I think the mood around the fan base is like, hey, like, can we put like the under 19s in? Let's make it look like an accident. Like, it's kind of make it look like an accident here. But what the fans want is certainly different than what the club wants. And I think throughout the week, I'm sure the players have heard from fans like, hey, why don't you just like throw the game away, you know? But the players are going to be like, what the hell? You know, so it's, there's going to be as much what the fans want is different than what Ange and what the players want. So I don't want to see Arsenal win the league. We still there still has to be a game played at Old Trafford. So if Arsenal do drop points against United, then there's not much at stake when it comes to the City match on Tuesday. So and so again, I wish the last 4 games would have panned out differently, so we wouldn't have to worry about this. But we are where we are.
Damn's what it be, right?
So what you're saying is you want City to win the league.
I mean,
huh?
have I explained myself any further?
I just want to hear it.
That's what I heard.
I just want to hear
I really
it.
want to hear it.
This is a City podcast.
This is a City. Yeah.
Look, if Arsenal win on Sunday, then I want City to win.
Nice.
But if Arsenal do drop points, then it's like, all right, well, then the match, like there's not gonna be a whole lot riding on it. So it certainly depends what happens tomorrow. So that is my
Wait, so Villa
Magic.
has to drop both games for you guys to get into the Champions League, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, Champions League would be a very nice prospect, but I don't think us as a unit are ready for that venture just yet. I think to have a nice deep run in European competition, definitely, I think one would embed Ange's system further into the squad, and I think it definitely gives depth players a chance to prove themselves. Because as much as not playing in Europe, like as you see over the course of the last several seasons, has benefited league form, for Tottenham, it was actually quite the opposite, because 1, less games means less sharpness. 2, you don't have time to bet in the bench players, at least the players that won't get as much game time in. So in the sense with us, with compounding injuries and not having a whole lot of games to like kind of get back up to pace, definitely has played a factor. But I just think that if you talk to me at the start of the season, finishing 8th place, and it's looking, and it wasn't like it was a positive trend. It was we were trending downward, and then not to mention selling Kane to Bayern Munich, the best player in the modern era of Tottenham. It was looking pretty bleak. So if you asked me, hey, would you take 5th place? I would have bit your hand off. because there is.
I mean, you guys won the league in September.
I mean, that's what you say. That's what you say.
That was a good little title run
That
right
was
there in
very,
September
very,
that you
that
had.
was really good. That was really good.
Yeah, no, right. But then, even back then, Ange was saying we are far from what we want to be during the first 10 games, and so it was nice to kind of it brought a certain buzz back into the fan base after such a bleak end to last season. And so, I mean, as much as there has been a bleak ending to this season, the mood in the fan base is still very optimistic towards Ange. I mean, there are some people who have quote unquote said the goodwill's been lost, but I think if Spurs fans had any reservations about Ange, like if some Spurs fans were like are kind of like, this guy is not it, then they already had confirmation bias before the beginning of the season that wasn't going to work out. So I don't know. It's like American Premier League fans, like, you know, most Europeans don't take Australian coaches that seriously. So I think there's already an uphill battle you have to face. But all in all, it's just like, yeah, the season ending? Has the season been what we wanted to be towards the end? No, but I think there's been enough over the course of the campaign to believe in the process. As we say, process is almost like a, you know, buzzword at this point, but, you know, there's enough there to where we are trending upward and something can be done with this squad within a few transfer windows.
So Cam is on the show. He's going to has to fly off because tomorrow he's graduating from San Diego State with his master's degree in history. And I'm going to be heading down tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Congratulations.
Love it when we see our
Thank you.
friends become successful. You know what I mean? So Cameron also has a League One blog where he talks all things League One because Cameron's into French shit. So you know, he can talk. So he can talk behind legs off about any French stuff. So, but it's a decent blog. So we'll be putting it in the notes so that you guys can read that and subscribe to his thing. But you know, Cam, we appreciate you coming on the show, but we got other things to talk about. So we're gonna have to boot you, bro. So good job. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. 'Tis but a brief encounter because Will and Alex can't take the heat for an hour. So
hey, we have the shades on. We have the shades on, right?
Yeah, we're cooler than you, bro. We're
way cooler than you this time.
Yeah,
because you have to block out my star gaze. You know what I mean? The light coming through, like I just emanate brightness. And you have to wear shades because
you're not that guy, pal.
Also,
all right, see you later. Bye. All right.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This guy always comes on the podcast, and he's always the coolest one. And his team is sometimes good against us. Well, majority, but not this time, brother. Not this time.
Yeah. So, where were we? We had to react to Fulham. All right, let's get into it, guys. All right. So, Snobby Boys, what were your guys' overall thoughts about this Fulham match today?
Well, I mean, right out the gate, it was low block city, so we had to expect, you know, to try and break through that. I mean, I'm happy to see kind of like where Pep's taking things right now. The lineup that he put out today was exactly what I thought we needed. I think that Diaz being in for Akanji, that was I don't think anybody well, between me and Joe, I don't think we saw that coming because of how well he's been in with the side over the last few matches. Didn't really see, and there's been certain declines in Diaz's performance this year. So I kind of see why he wouldn't have been in the side for this one. Maybe try to get him amped up for Tottenham. But on the overall, I mean, this was This is what we needed. We needed to make up that goal diff. We took care of business. I couldn't have asked for a better day, to be honest.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Joe?
It kind of started off a little slow because of what Colby mentioned with the way Fulham was playing, and credit to them because they were extremely organized and pretty compact, so there wasn't a whole lot of room to operate. Thankfully, Joshko was able to break through for us early in about the 12th minute and get a goal for us. But the rest of the first half was still pretty tough sledding up until halftime adjustments were made by Pep, and then the boys seemed to come out with a little bit different energy in the second half. The movement off the ball was crisper. We were playing with a little bit faster pace, and I think that's what led to knocking home 3 at the end. It was really awesome to see Jules convert the PK at the end. To that one goal might prove important going forward, and it was nice to have eventually a somewhat comfortable win, because I felt like the way it was starting off, it was going to be one of those 1-0 until the 90th minute, and we were going to be sweating for the whole second half. But Phil did his thing. Joshko scored 2. That selfish ass Erling Haaland, not clapping for his teammates, but it was over there all day being the first one to hug Joshko every time he fucking scored. So you love to see that. The boys were buzzing towards the end. I thought it was really nice of Kyle to at least ask Joshko if he wanted to take the PK, and he was like, "Nah, man, let Jules do it. He's our designated guy right now," and buried it. So it shows, our guys are not selfish. They're team guys, unlike what some people like to make us out to be.
Unlike that Chelsea dilemma when 4 people were squabbling over who would take the PK, and Cole Palmer was hugging on the ball and stiff arming them, get the fuck back, guys.
I know, right? Back. They paid good money for this penalty. Move out of the way.
I'm cold. But it's not about Cole Palmer. It's about Gvardiol. Oh my God, this guy, ever since the Real Madrid result, has turned into a goal scorer, one of our primary goal scorers. And he's just clicking into that role, and he's just only gonna get more into that as the year progresses. You know what I mean? Every first year City player has that adjustment period. And on our podcast, we talked our ish about Gvardiol initially, you know what I mean? And now we've profusely apologized for that.
Backtrack. Big backtrack.
Big backtrack. A huge backtrack. But how he's just come into this role and how he's just managed to get himself in the scoring positions, like that one goal where it was the cross in and he just was right there. You know what I mean? That's just what we need. You know what I mean? We need someone to read that ball and be in that spot and put the leg out to get the ball into the net. Right. So he has that intuition now. He's developing that intuition, and next year we're only going to see more of that. You know what I mean? And definitely we needed that. And going into the start of the second half, and it was still a 1-0 game. You know what I mean? I kind of felt the breath starting to leave from me. It's the panic starting to set in. We need another goal. We need another goal. But then Foden comes in. Consistency. Foden is there when we need a goal. He shows up and delivers a screamer, and is our guy. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so, But Gvardiol. Can't say enough about him.
Hey, the way he moved in that first goal, you would think he would have been a midfielder. You know what I mean?
Right.
The movement, the little touch with Kevin and pushing, and then him cutting the defender and still putting it in, crossing. Oh, dude, that guy was locked in for that first goal, bro. You know what I mean?
Dude, he's been locked. He's been locked in for the last 6 games.
Yes.
He really he's shown just how diverse our attack can really be.
Yeah.
Just by giving him the pivot and having him bring the ball up. I mean, we spent all season doing that with Kyle Walker. And now that we have range on both sides to be able to do that, and they work well through the midfield, bro, what other system do you see out there that can do that?
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I'm telling you. They're listening to the podcast, dog, because every time we shit on somebody, they fucking have the fucking game of their lives the next match.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we have to run it back all the time. So it's the way it's 6 goal involvements in 7 games for Gvardiol. That's fucking beautiful. And I said, and I even told you too, dog. Like, he hasn't shown me much. That's why I'm not so like whatever about him. But after the Real Madrid game, dog, I'm a believer now, dude. Like, he's really. Remember, I said he has to show that he belongs, and dude, he's doing it right now. You know what I mean? He's definitely doing it right now.
I felt very strongly when we signed him this offseason. I really felt that he was going to be the one that breaks the mold of a year in with Pep's system before you're actually a product. He's completely broken the mold. I mean, granted, it's the end of the season, but I mean, how often have we had a player in the last 10 years that comes in and consistently improves and performs in a way that makes us a winning club again?
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I mean, as we say, there were some supporting roles that need to be mentioned. There's some milestones too. Rico Lewis made his 50th appearance for Man City today by subbing on. So Rico Lewis, what can we say about him? Actually, I was listening to your guys' podcast the other day, and you guys said something I took umbrage with. And I believe it was Colby who said this, that your underwhelming player that you thought was underwhelming this season was Rico Lewis.
Right.
And I think you need to do a little bit more explaining of yourself, Colby.
Well, and let's put this into context.
Okay.
He hasn't had the amount of minutes that we would have maybe expected him to have this year.
Yeah.
So my position on him being the most underwhelming, I will stand by the fact that Ruben Diaz has been the most underwhelming. If you listen to the end of that, that's where we kind of shifted it. But me saying that was only based upon the fact that Manchester Derby 2.0, they said it was, who was it, Joe? Who did she say?
It was Jules.
Yeah, it was Julian Alvarez. And I was like, What? Well, no, the only reason, and going back to me saying that about Rico, it's not because he isn't able to perform. It's that he hasn't had the minutes. So to me, it's a little underwhelming because you're not getting to see the player that we all see in him be able to be on the field with his teammates and contributing the way that we know he can. So it will come in time. There are so many moving pieces going into the offseason that can either push him forward or push him back. It just depends on which way Pep goes. I have all faith in him. I mean, he's one of our own. I can't not think that he's, a top dog and he can make something happen here.
Yeah.
Well,
I had to put you in the hot seat, Colby. I had to put you in the hot seat for the content, right? But but the thing is like, as we were blowing up your chat last thing, it's all those factors are out of his control. You know what I mean? Like, he can't decide when he plays. He plays in the City squad and he has his defined role. And Pep sometimes like puts him on the shelf for a little bit and then takes him off in an instant and throws him in, and he does his thing, which is I give it to a lot of the players who are on our bench, on the City bench, who don't get used frequently, like Sergio Gomez, Oscar Bob, and they had to like come on and like perform to like Pep's standard. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to just be like sitting on the bench for like weeks and be like and vacillating, just being like, when am I ever going to see a minute of playing time? And all of a sudden it's like, get in, oh wow, so now I have to like going from 0 to 100 really quickly. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, the fact that a lot of our players can do that and have an effect in big games like that just shows the caliber of players that we have. You know what I mean? Even from our bench, like, and there's been some complaints about our bench this season that, lacking depth in certain positions and whatnot. But like, no, I mean, like, you have to be a certain kind of player to be able to play for City. And Rico Lewis coming on and getting his 50th appearance, it's just here's so many more to Rico Lewis. You know what I mean? Hopefully he becomes more of a feature in the years coming ahead. Also, a statistic: KDB has equaled Cesc Fabregas on assists, 111 career assists and 92 fewer appearances. So
nice.
Let me ask this question: what do you guys think of KDB playing today, and maybe speculate about his future?
Joe, I'm gonna let you start because I got things to say.
I know you do. I thought overall it was not a vintage Kevin performance. He was still impactful at times, but I don't think he was totally up to speed with his passing. They just seemed a little off. That's only because Kevin has set the bar so incredibly high for himself. because he's the best passer of the ball in world football, in my opinion. And for him not to typical passes, he would almost always nail and put right on the back foot or put it right into the right space. He just wasn't hitting. So I felt like although he was impactful, he got an assist on that first one. I didn't think it was a vintage Kev performance, even though he was trying. You could see the effort was there. Yeah. But seemed like just a step behind maybe at times. And I think that wasn't necessarily just him. It was kind of collectively at times we weren't really crisp. And he kind of contributed a little bit to that. But, Colby, tell me what you think too, because I know you got more thoughts than what I just threw out there.
I mean, I'm really just echoing what you said, and not so elaborate of a way, I guess you could say. What I saw out of Kevin De Bruyne today was, I think it was the match that Roy Kent realized that he didn't have it no more. That's what I'm starting to see. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. I mean, he's been balling since he was 15 years old. He's 33 now. He's an old man in terms of sports. He is losing his edge. Today showed it. He had the contributions that we needed at the right time, but there were ones. This could have easily been maybe a 6 or 7 goal game if there were some better on the dime passes from him. But I mean, all in the same, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for me to look at him because he's the captain for me. He runs the ship when everybody's out there.
Yeah.
And seeing that time go away, kind of like it pulls my heartstrings a little bit. But all in the same, I don't know. I think you asked the question of what do you see after, this season with him or even going forward with his career. I mean, I hope he finishes here. I hope he doesn't leave. I hope he doesn't take a big money deal, but I also don't think his wife will allow that either. Yeah. And that would, so I don't know, man. Like I said, Roy Kent thing, I'm starting to see that more and more with him. If you understand the analogy.
Yeah, I know. Understand. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think I'm willing to say I've given up faith in Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think we're saying that.
I haven't given up faith.
But starting admitting that he is on the, he is at that point, right? I don't feel like I'm ready to admit that. I think that's more of an emotional thing. But I'm hoping that Kevin De Bruyne can get a late career bump, like we've seen so many players do, like Ronaldo, Modric.
Yeah.
Like Real Madrid benefited from a lot of late career renaissances from both of those guys, from Benzema and stuff like that. Like I'm hoping, and maybe I don't know what City has to do in terms of training and regimen to get Kevin De Bruyne to be at that, if he can do that, you know what I mean? Like to get to that late career renaissance and still have him as an essential piece of the puzzle. But we'll be figuring that out in more than a year's time, you know what I mean, to see if Kevin De Bruyne can still hang and what he wants to do in terms of his career. But I definitely hope he finishes at City. Any thoughts on that, Will?
Yeah, we got to remember that he's the last one of the Beatles, you know what I mean? And by that, I mean, like, he is from the Pellegrini days. We're talking about somebody that gave us their all since day one. You know what I mean? And when Sergio Agüero left, that was my guy. That was my new guy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been following Sergio Agüero super close, but when he left, I was like, okay, now my main dude is Kevin De Bruyne. And like you said, in terms of his age and in terms of sports, the guy's getting old. The guy's been through a lot of injuries that we've seen, a lot of them, and all of them were major, bro. And it hurt the team.
These have been career enders.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, those were career enders. Yeah,
so and he's made career enders. And he's made beautiful comebacks. You know what I mean? The last one that we can remember is that game against Newcastle. What a fucking comeback. You know what I mean? But you got to remember, the guy gets old, and we lose our heads. Like, why isn't he starting? Why isn't he in the game? It's like, dog, you got to remember the guy. I mean, he still balls out, but maybe it's the tank is a little shorter this time. You know what I mean? And today, what I saw was that he was looking for Haaland for a lot of centers. And the thing is, Haaland was just fucking covered, bro. Covered. And you can see it in his face that he was frustrated today. And it kind of, Haaland's performance can also affect Kevin De Bruyne's performance. You know what I mean? In my head, I see He's making the crosses. Yeah, they're not dimes and shit, but I mean, the intention and the idea is there, you know. So, man, I give him one more year, and we gotta use him in a way where it's like it has to be more strategic. These Champions League games, the way he looked, bro, it was draining him, bro. You know what I mean? And this is a young man's team now. Look at the players that we have. He's the big brother of the whole team. He's the one that doesn't fuck around. He wants to get down to business. You know what I mean? Yep. So just the way it's going for him, he'll be gone soon, brother. He'll be gone soon. It's gonna be a sad ass day for Man City. But as for him taking a big pay and going to Saudi Arabia, I don't think that'll happen. I mean, look at these players that are going out there. You know,
Benzema already wants to come back.
Oh, you see what I mean? And then
like he don't want to live there anymore. The money sounds great, right?
Yes,
the money sounds great, but the way you have to live, when we're Westerners, we understand certain liberties and freedoms. You don't get those in Saudi Arabia.
And neither does your family.
What are you really giving up? Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get a really good education. I won't say that.
Yeah.
Or that they won't. But I'm just saying, like, the way that you live is so much different. I mean, you have to be extremely conservative. You're literally looked under, like, I mean, we see it here just with actors and fucking superstars from sports to whatever.
All the elites.
The paparazzi, all the paparazzi up their ass. It's worse. You're under a big brother microscope over there. You can't do nothing.
Yeah,
so,
it's artificial paradise too. Like if you want luxury,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like all these fabricated things that just come out from nowhere, and like it's like you get like in the facilities, the weather and stuff. Like I mean, and then like, but I even heard about the pay, like the way the teams are paying them, where like even not getting paid. You know what I mean? Players are reporting not getting paid, so it's just like the whole enterprise is just kind of falling through. And everyone's crawling back to Europe, like as you can see with the former Liverpool midfielder Henderson went back to Ajax. So I don't know, I don't really see that. But to get cracking on though, we don't really need to fuss about man of the match. Gvardiol was the man of the match.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yes,
I think we all agree on that. But the takeaways though, it does bode for the Premier League race. So my question to you guys, Snobby Boys, is how do you think this race is going to end? The title race is going to end. I mean, obviously, we're a City podcast. We know it's going to win, but how is it going to happen?
I mean, I think it's very simple, and it's the game plan was laid out this morning right before the match. We win, right? We hope that Arsenal drop to United. We go into Tottenham. We take care of business. We win the league.
Yeah.
Take care of business. Take care of business. It's just that simple. But I mean, the whole riding on whether Arsenal drop it or not is, I think it's very high possibility you're in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Joe.
They don't even have to lose tomorrow. Just a draw puts it in our hands on Tuesday to win, and it's a wrap. So that would be awesome. But I feel like it's going to go down to the wire. I think Arsenal is going to take care of business. I have no faith in United to do anything to help us out because they've been in such shitty form lately. So I think it's going to come down to the West Ham match on Sunday, and it's going to be stressful. But in the end, City will be hoisting that trophy. Kyle Walker will be getting that Premier League trophy, and we will get to see the lift that we all want to see. But I think it's going down to the last match, and I think that's super exciting because every match on Sunday kicks off at the same time. Everybody's going at the same time, and you get that excitement of what's going on in the Arsenal game. They're going to be bouncing back and forth. What's happening with us? What's happening with them? But I trust our guys just because we've been here before. We've gone through it before, and this group knows how to chase or win a title, whether they're falling behind in points or if they're out in front. They know how to do this. I trust our boys. I trust Pep, and I do think it's going to come down to Sunday, though.
It's just funny that, City fans were doing the pausing in the stands at Craven Cottage today, and Noel Gallagher wasn't doing it. And he's just like, I don't do the pausing. I don't do the pausing. And, but like, I made the meme out of it, and, just like, everyone's doing the pausing, but, I'm still anxious about the goal differential. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of title scenarios have Arsenal's goal differential factoring in, and they have like a 6 goal differential over us. So we needed like 4 more goals or 2 more goals. Yeah, my maths are not that good. But to close that goal differential. So if it were to come down to a tie in certain scenarios, that we wouldn't have the goal differential. You know what I mean? So, I think everyone's hoping for the best scenario, which is obviously Arsenal drop tomorrow, and then we can take it on Tuesday. But if it comes down to the last game of the season, like, certain scenarios where if we dare I say draw against Tottenham or something like that, we goes into like a tie scenario and whatnot, and the goal differential comes into play. But I had to make that. I had to make that note about Noel Gallagher and anxiety around this title race. But so I think we already touched upon it. I think everyone's gonna be watching and tuning into the Arsenal Man United match tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's do a score prediction, a round robin score prediction. So let's start with Colby. Colby, what's your prediction for Arsenal Man United tomorrow?
I'm gonna come up with a late pool. They draw early. I want to say probably before the half, and United pull out a late stunner. The refs have them they're in the refs' pocket, and 2-1.
Okay.
Interesting. Joe, what do you think?
I'm going 3-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
With maybe a late one for United to give them some kind of hope. But I just watching United right now, I don't have any faith in them whatsoever. And I think Arsenal is going to put 3 by them.
What do you think, Will?
It's going to be ass whoop city, dog. As much as I want United to fucking win, dog, just look at what's been happening, bro. The last game against Crystal Palace was embarrassing, bro. And Onana, that guy, he needs glasses or something, dog. It's like, damn, dude, find the fucking ball. But tomorrow's an ass whoop, dog. 4-0.
Damn. You know what? I think I'm gonna take Colby's prediction 2-1 with a late Rashford goal, and to solidify his status as United legend. And then
I hope you think right.
Do you think he plays a full 90, or do you think he comes on as super sub?
I think he's gonna play the whole 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that United has to win, the only thing United has to win is their fans back. You know what I mean? So if they want that, they got to win tomorrow, dude. You know what I mean? So
any given Sunday, fellas, any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Very true.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about
the game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the City Tottenham match at the end of the episode, but we got some City news to cover. So I think we're stunned by this a little bit, that Rodri was omitted from the short list for Premier League Player of the Year. 2 of his City teammates made it, Erling Haaland and Phil Foden, but Rodri not on the list. So, boys, what you make of that news?
8-man list, and he can't even get into the 8-man list and hasn't lost a match in almost 2 years in the Premier League. Like, come on,
a little over a year. Yeah.
Is that list out?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
Can somebody pull that? Because that's
Virgil van Dijk's on it. Declan Rice. I think Odegaard's on there.
Isak, Alexander Isak, Ollie Watkins. Yeah.
So mostly strikers, right?
And
forwards.
One defender, pretty much. Yeah.
Just forwards, except for VVD, the random fucking
no
defender.
business being on there.
Yeah.
They had to find some way to get Liverpool in that list. That's all.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I mean, but like, come on, Rodri has been undefeated for a year. I guess defensive midfielder is not as sexy as being a forward, but I mean, but Rodri is undroppable. He's an absolute integral part of the squad, and just the way he plays those forward passes and distributes the ball, gets the ball moving. You know what I mean? It's been key to City's success. And I mean, we won 5 trophies last year in a treble. You know what I mean? And this season he's been doing the same thing, and he's still, despite the loss and penalties to Real Madrid, he's still undefeated. You know what I mean? If you count that, but he's undefeated. So, I mean, it's just the fact that he's been omitted from this list. It's just like, it's more Premier League politics. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm very cynical. I think it's probably going to go to like Martin Odegaard or something like that, just because how many Arsenal
probably going to Declan Rice
or Declan Rice.
They're probably going to fucking Declan overpriced.
Why not Phil Foden? That's insane.
Because he plays for City.
Right.
Wow.
That's simple as.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
That's the number one answer for me, dog. And I'm not being biased. That's the proof is in the pudding, baby. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, the amount that City players get shafted in these individual award ceremonies across the spectrum. I mean, like the FIFA awards, the Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact that Mbappe is probably going to win the Ballon d'Or for the great season that he's had, compared to how Haaland did this last season. You know what I mean? Irritates the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, okay, then give Haaland his Ballon d'Or. Give him a Ballon d'Or, because
he broke the record last year, and they passed him over for Messi to pat Messi on his ass.
Yeah.
You're never going to see that performance again. And
never.
You wash him over? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow. Ballon d'Or is fucking bullshit, dude. Fuck that ceremony.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of that for these precise reasons. You know what I mean? Just the politics that go into it, and just like, in City, there's this anti-City bias with the establishment organizations, FIFA, UEFA, you name it. You know what I mean? So, like, I know how good our players won. I mean, like, the way I also look at it too is like the Smiths never won a Grammy. You know what I mean? So, and they're one of the greatest bands of all time. So, and so that's the way I guess we have to look at it. Yeah. But, you want our players to be successful, win those awards. And I know a Ballon d'Or would definitely help City as an organization, you know what I mean, develop its fan base, whatnot, if there was one player that at least won the Ballon d'Or. And I think City will eventually get that. But the fact that the way the politics is setting up, and Mbappe's on this bounce now, and although he's virtually a ghost in Champions Leagues, I mean, people say the same thing about Haaland, but like the fact is that like Haaland has a trouble, you know what I mean, and Mbappe doesn't. He has a World Cup, but he doesn't have a trouble. So and then he's going to go to Real Madrid and Los Galacticos Part 2 and shit. Just irritates to me to no end. Just god damn it, you know what I mean? So
I think Kevin De Bruyne was our strongest nominee for Ballon d'Or,
right? Kevin De Bruyne?
Yeah.
I mean, Haaland was, I think, the runner-up last year, wasn't he? And then we had like
Kevin was right in there, and
like we had 5 or 6 other players in there. Bernardo Silva was on like 8 in the contention stuff. So anyhow, But one thing to mention is that the under-18s won the FA Youth Cup yesterday 4-0. Another 4-0 result. Snobby Boys, what do you guys make of that?
It's extremely exciting to see our EDS putting in this type of work and winning these type of awards. I mean, it should scare people, if anything, because this is the future. This is the future. A couple years from now, these are going to be the players going to be kicking you up and down the field. So I'm fucking gobsmacked by it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a tip of the cap to the EDS and the youth system and the academy, because we consistently win trophies across the club, be it the women's, the youth setup. They're winning across all of the lower levels too. So it's just a credit to the way the club is set up and how everybody is playing the same kind of football and has the same mentality. So it's just a credit to the people who have set the whole thing up. So it's wonderful to see that our young guys are doing so well with across competitions. It's just great to see. You love it.
I mean, so even with this new rule that's going to be coming into place, the new the Premier League is speculating about it with a spending cap, that the spending cap would be 5 times the lowest net spend of the Premier League or Premier League team. So I've been hearing debate going back and forth about the subject where it's going to put the Premier League at a disadvantage, but at the same time, no team's really going to ever run afoul of it because the cap's actually pretty high. Like the only team that would run afoul of that spending cap would be Chelsea. Looking at you, George, in the chat. How much they spent in the 22-23 season, like what they spent like $538 billion on players, you know what I mean? So, or million, whatever. So like the cap actually won it, but like the thing is if it does go to like a harder cap, you know what I mean, that means that we're going to be relying more on a city's academy, but we have the best academy in the world. So I'm not worried about that, right? But other teams literally poach our talent, or they pay us for our talent. We flip them and make a sale, you know what I mean? So, I am not worried about that, but I'm about this. But what do you guys make of that? Did you guys were hearing about that spending cap?
I'm not overly concerned with it because, like you said, the spending cap is still going to be like $300 to $400 million, and we don't ever get that close anyway. Plus, our scouting department, our guys who are out identifying talent, we're fantastic at getting guys in that like $20 to $50 million range. We don't need to go spend $150 million on a Jude Bellingham or somebody like that. We already have match winners across the board. We don't need to go buy a bunch of new guys like Chelsea did. We can supplement with 2 or 3 guys here and there. We don't spend big. Numbers wise, we usually only pull in a couple of dudes, so I don't think we're ever going to be in trouble with that. And our academy is so brilliant, and then we're able to find those guys who can still help and contribute to the team at a lower cost. So I have trust the club is the motto, and I have faith in the guys who are running the show to be able to navigate the new rules that come into play. Colby, what do you got, man?
But speaking of younger players, though, we also picked up Kevin Sullivan from the United States, who is signed with Philadelphia Union. But there's another deal in place that he'll go to City when he turns 18. How do you guys feel about that?
I actually love that we're, getting American talent into our system. One of the things that has often come up recently, especially as parents, both Joe and I, of kids who play, is the pay-to-play system. And where it has a lot of drawbacks. It's nice to see that there is quality talent coming up through the ranks, even though it's still there and in place. And Bucco's just won, by the way. Sidecar boom. No. I absolutely love that American talent it's finally starting to find its way into Europe, regardless of the fact. I think that with our scouting department, looking at somebody he's 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you're seeing talent in this kid at that age, I mean, let's hope he pans out and he's, maybe the American Beckham or something. I don't know. Could it be a flash in the pan? He could be.
Maybe.
He could be. So, I mean, I don't want to, until I see a finished product, I don't want to gas him up too much. I want him to just go out and do his damn thing.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, yeah, they're still young players, still got a lot of development to go. So you don't put that expectation. But, like the fact that City is trying to find players from America and bring them into the system and bring them in, become City. And like City is becoming like the destination place for a lot of the younger players. Like, like when we were kids, for United was that team. You know what I mean? Everyone wanted to go play for United. Yeah. Or like Real Madrid, you know what I mean? Or Arsenal, you know what I mean? Like all my middle school friends were Arsenal fans because of Thierry Henry. You know what I mean? Right. They all wanted to go eventually play for those big clubs, the traditional big clubs, right? But now that City's enjoyed a period of success, that City's becoming that club. Like we want to go play for Man City. That's our dream, is to go play for that. So I think a lot of players are playing on pitches around this country and saying, "Oh, one day I'm going to be, playing alongside Haaland." You know what I mean? Or like playing alongside Phil Foden. You know what I mean? Like so, you love to see it though, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So just to give some podcast updates, you can follow us at Hollywood Kippax, KIPPAX, across all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes,
we also have Snobby Pod's information in the description, so you guys can go follow them and give them a click and a subscribe, and go tune into their Sunday night show around 7:15.
We'd really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. Love you. But yeah, so just some updates on the podcast. We're about nearly 350 YouTube subscribers, nearly 2,000 Instagram followers, and I think I have George still in the chat, but I always mention the story that George and I were in a bar in Downey, California, and I mentioned, I'm like, what if we ever got to 1,000 followers on Instagram? And he was like, you'll get there, dude. You'll get there. And I'm like,
when we had 60.
And now we've nearly doubled our end of the season goal. Like my goal, then I was like, oh, we're gonna get to 1,000 followers by the end of the season. But then we went to 2,000 followers. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
A lot of people are vibing with the content on Instagram, and we love engaging and meeting with new people. And we just got the Big Steve interview, and our podcast is really growing. We're looking forward to it for next year. We're going to be doing summer programming, so we're going to be doing podcast episodes throughout the summer, bring on different people, veteran Man City fans, storytelling, and keeping up with the transfer news and whatnot, and maybe recapping City season, maybe doing an armchair quarterback thing with the rest of the season and what we could do better for next year. So we'd love to have you guys on some point in the summertime.
Yes.
So,
for sure.
We're looking ahead, and we're also looking to start a Premier League fantasy group next year. So,
that's right.
This is a formal invite to our Premier League fantasy group if you guys want to join.
Yes.
Looking to engage with that. Guys. Maybe we'll give you guys a bit of time to do your elevator pitch for Snobby Boys. You guys could talk a little bit about yourselves.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen us already, interacting with Hollywood Kippax, we are the East Coast version of them, basically. We've got a lot coming up. I don't want to speak on it just yet because we'll be announcing everything mañana. But everything's going really good here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed us hanging out with Hollywood Kippax tonight. And if you would, please go and give us a follow at all social media platforms at Snobby Pod.
Yes, sir.
And that's all.
And the merch. And the cool merch.
Oh, the merch. And the merch. Oh, yeah. If you want to check out our merch, bonfire.com/store/snobby-store. Right now, we actually are doing 15% off our merch. If you type in the code SnobbyAF, that will go towards your entire purchase. The only one that it does not take effect to is the If You Hate Man United shirt. I'm sorry, that's not my fault. You can blame Bonfire.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, guys, we're trying to keep it under an hour. We got 5 minutes till the hour. So we wanted to quickly preview City versus Tottenham.
Yes.
So we kind of talked a little bit about it when Cam was on, but to build up to it, what do we need to do to get this result on Tuesday?
Mental errors got to be avoided big time, especially in the back, and we have to be clean in possession because Tottenham is going to play on the counterattack. We know this. That is how they play against us every time. We have to not turn the ball over in the midfield. We have to be smart in the back four, and we need to wrangle Young-Min Son because that dude always fucking kills us. So take care of him, keep possession, and be mistake-free in the back, and we'll come out of London with another win.
Yep.
And
Possession, 0 mistakes, and a title. Possession, 0 mistakes. Communication has to be a big part of this one. And you got to shut down Son. You got to shut down Pedro Porro. Those are the two players that we need to keep out of this match.
City product, Pedro Porro.
That's right.
Yeah, so what do you guys reckon? Where are we going to go with the starting 11 prediction?
I mean, firepower, right? I feel like this is the one where you put in all your guns. I'm going to go Walker Diaz, Akanji, Gavardiol, Rodri, Kova, Jack, Kevin, Bernie, Holland.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
Oh man, I mean, like if we want to go really attacking, maybe do some kind of version of a 4, like 1-4-1-4. I don't know how you would.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like just throw all that. We've seen that very few times this season, but when we want to go super attacking, just put like 4 behind Haaland. So maybe Grealish, Foden, KDB, Silva, Rodri, and then I agree with that back line. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the back line we're going with. We can talk a little bit about, I mean, we're kind of low on time, but like Stones, you know what I mean? Like I kind of there's a question mark, you know what I mean? Like kind of with injury status or fit, how fit he is or whatever, you know what I mean? So, but I see Akanji is back in this lineup. What else do you guys think in terms of that, Will and Joe?
No, I like the way you guys set it up, dude. That's pretty much my favorite spot. And it sucks that we lost Aka today. So, just so we can get within the hour, I'm gonna go on my score prediction really quick, and I'm gonna go with the 3-0.
3-0.
Like that. I think the back line's the same. Eddie's in there. I think they have found something with Rodri and Kova, so I think those two are going to be there, and I think it's going to be a Phil at that same front four that we saw today: Phil, Bernie, Kev, and Holland. And score-wise, I think I'm going to go 4-2, 4-2 City.
Ooh, bangery game, huh? Nice.
Colby,
I'm gonna keep it low. I'm going to go 2-0.
Oh, okay.
But
Side, right?
This is going to be a classic case second half City.
Oh, okay. All right.
that's why I'm going to say 2-1. I think it's going to be someone's going to score first. Let's say City scores first, then Tottenham gets one back before the half. We're going at 1-1, and then it may be somewhere in the 86th minute we get another Foden goal. And we get the result. You know what I'm saying? So lock in those bets. Will lock in those bets.
Yes, sir.
And then but we're coming up on the hour, but we appreciate everyone for tuning in to the Hollywood Kippax, KIPPAX, across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Please follow the Snobby Boys Podcast. Their socials are in the description. This is a podcast this is a Man City podcast your girlfriend tells you to not worry about. And this is a Man City podcast that tells you that we support the best team in the land.
The best team in the world. Come on, City. Come on,
City. Come on. You know it's going to be biblical, man. See you Tuesday. We'll get that result. Then hopefully 4 Premier League back-to-back consecutive titles, boys. Thanks, Snobby Boys, for coming on our show.
Thanks for having us.
Have a good night.
See you next week.